Well, Kathy, what do you say we kind of look at some timelines that we had in regards specifically to the proposal of land exchange on the Palouse district, and maybe mention some of the other important characters
I think
as
that's a
far
great
as
idea.
Nespers is concerned, and Ingrams and their involvement in this down
Yeah.
Nespers, down at Grangeville. So I had put together kind of a timeline, an outline, and I know you can fill in a lot of places because the Palouse Ranger District, Friends of the Palouse Ranger District, have done so much on looking up the backgrounds of these people on a computer and finding out things that us ignorant, the seven dwarfs, the seven retirees, we didn't have the skills. We didn't develop those kind of skills, and you gals have really done a great job on that.
Thank you, John.
But some of my stuff is from newspaper articles. I don't know the validity of some of it, but that can be researched.
So should we start with and tell the people how the land came into the ownership, and what we've uncovered is how it was owned, and what we've found is that TWJ Holdings actually purchased this land back November 5th of 2005.
Yes.
And TWJ Holdings, as we've found, his ownership of Tim Blixseth, also the developer of the Yellowstone Club, quite notorious for dealings, and James Dolan, and it's listed as Voyager Group LP on their website, claims that they own Western Pacific Timber also, and the agent listed was Andrew Hawes. And all three names are the exact same in Western Pacific Timber. We're not sure when TWJ Holdings transferred into the name of Western Pacific Timber, sometime in 2006, when Tim Blixseth approached the Forest Service about doing this land exchange, and they've said that Western Pacific had acquired this land for the purpose of doing this land exchange.
Yeah, that's a really great point, because I think Blixseth was up front as far as the newspaper articles that I read in 2005, where it said, quoted him as, the article said, timber tycoon and developer. That was a quote from the news article that I have. Purchases checkerboard lands from Plum Creek for trading, for the lands that could be developed. And that's kind of interesting. So already, as far as the appraisal is concerned, you can see that appraising this as forest land is preposterous.
Yeah, because the reason he's doing this exchange is, we've been told repeatedly that he bought this because he is a developer, and he's showing a clear track record of being a developer.
Okay. So first, according to our understanding from Supervisor Riley, retired Supervisor Riley, first he tried to acquire some land around McCall.
Yes, yeah.
From Region 4, and their response was, we don't want anything to do with it.
Flat out, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he tried to get some up around Priest Lake or somewhere in that vicinity on the
Yes,
Panhandle.
yeah.
And finally came to the Clearwater with directions from the Chief of the Forest Service. Now this is according to Mr. Riley at a Tri-County Commissioners meeting down in Lewiston. According to Mr. Riley at that meeting, says he was told, make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what he intended to do,
Yeah.
to make it happen. So like you said, in 2005, he tried to get this land. It's interesting, in a September 3 news article, September 3/07, Potlatch Corporation purchased from WPT,
Western Pacific Timber.
Western Pacific Timber, of either 179,000 or 177,000 acres around McCall
Yes.
from Blixeth for about $215 million. Now remember that that a couple of execs from Plum Creek came to Potlatch, I think in the early 2000s, and they had managed the Upper Lochsaw. And now they're purchasing land from Tim Blixeth. And Tim Blixeth bought the land in the Upper Lochsaw. I don't think that I think there's a connection there. I'll let somebody else put it together. But anyway, it was an interesting. And Potlatch, of course, now is a real estate investment trust. And if you were talking about exchanging like lands for like lands, how would you exchange timberlands owned by the Forest Service for development lands owned by a real estate investment trust? Therefore, WPT, a timber company, comes in to make the exchange look
They
legal.
call themselves a timber company,
Yeah.
and we don't know yet when they transferred from TWJ Holdings into Western Pacific Timber, but it has to be a timber company to make the trades, from what I understand, and TWJ Holdings sounds like a development company, and so it's been, at some point was transferred to that, under this exact same ownership.
Well, about 2000, somewhere around 2006, then Mr. Riley told us, Supervisor Riley told us that they tried to find agencies that would support, and groups that would support this exchange, not that
Yes.
would oppose it. So those that were involved in that were like BLM, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and WPT, and the Forest Service. And they also talked to the Nez Perce tribe in regards to gaining support. But so for 2 years before anything ever
Before they told the
happened,
public.
well, it was even longer than 2 years. But in September of '07, representatives of WPT, I think it was Hawes and Disney, and maybe somebody else, accompanied Teresa Trulock of the Forest Service on a tour of the various lands that they would like to look at for development. For exchange. And these are some of the lands that they looked at. First was Mary Minerva McCroskey State Park. I don't know that was the order that they went to.